Hello and welcome back to my channel, Self-Publishing Help. I'm going to be walking you through how I format my own books for self-publishing, and you can too. I'll also leave a link in the description below for my website in case you would prefer to pay someone to do it for you. You can check that out. And my prices and samples are all on my website. But today I want to show you how I do page differentiations in OpenOffice. Now, I did a video already on the basics of OpenOffice, which is what I use for my book formatting, and I will also leave the links for that video in the description. But in my first video, I created this practice document here, and I've called it Practice Book because that's what I do with OpenOffice, is create my books. So let's open up this document. And right now it's just a blank document. I have sized it to the size that I would want for my book, if this were a book I was writing. And that was under Format, Page. And then the Page tab will take you to the sizes. And I've gone with 12.7 centimeters, 20.32 centimeters, and I can't remember what that is in inches, but I do go through the different sizes and the standard sizes if you're self-publishing through Amazon. I go through those in my first video. So like I say, I will leave those links. I have my margins set to standard 2 centimeters, which is very basic. When we get into differentiating our pages, I will have some different margins for the different pages. But for now, let's get started with the first thing that I would do with my book is I would make a title page. So on my title page, I wouldn't want a page number, I wouldn't want a heading. I would just want a blank, straight page like this with the title and the author's name. So let's start with differentiating our pages by just the most basic page that we can have. So up at Format, I would go down to Styles and Formatting and left click on it, and it will bring you up this dialog box. Now the one that I want for creating different formats for my different pages, for my different styles, I would want page styles here. So I'm going to click on page styles. And here's a few of the ones that it comes with, and we'll be using some of these: left page, right page. But for now, I'm going to want to create my own because I want the most basic with no frills for a title page and the first few opening pages of my document, of my new book. So to the very far right here, New Style from Selection, I'm going to click on that. New Style from Selection is what I'm going to select, and I'm going to want to name my style name. Let's go with Basic. And that will mean just a blank slate. Okay. And you can see now it's been added to the list of the different names for the different styles and formatting for each page. So if I double click on Basic, you can see down here in the bottom left, the style and formatting for this page is default. And you can use default, which is just the same thing as I'm calling basic. There's no frills yet on default, but I've decided to go with basic just to differentiate it from default. And so if I double click on basic, you can see now the style of this page is called basic. So to go back to format, now I can make this page what I want it to be. So I've called it basic, and I can give it all the different criteria under page. Now I'm happy with the size. I don't want to change the size. And for this page, I don't really want to change any margins, so I'm going to leave it as is. The next page that I'm going to want to open up is Organizer. And you see here, this is where it's letting me know what the style for this page is. It's basic. and the next page that will come automatically will be also in the same basic format. So that's good. That's how I want it to be. I'm going to have a few pages at the front of my book that won't have any fancy formatting. So let's just do a few of those. So this will be my title page. The very first page in your book is probably going to be your title page, maybe a blank page. You might want 2 title pages. It's all up to you. I'm just going to have one here. So I'm just going to enter down and let's give it a fun font. Let's go with action is and increase the size, nice and big. I'm just going to label this title page. Enter down. New font. This one looks fun. By author name. There we go. There's my title page. So I'm going to hit Control and Enter at the same time, and that will take me to a new page. That's created a page division that you can see with the blue line there. So this would be typically the next page in line would be your copyright page after your title page. On the flip side of your copyright page, I'd probably want a basic font for this, so let's go with I like Constantia. And we'll give it a normal size, around a 12. And here's my alignment. So I'm going to align left. Now you can see in my first video, I set up my paragraphs so that I have an indent on my first line of the paragraph. But if I hit backspace, it will take me right back to the margin, which is where I'd want to be. For copyright information. And my typing is terrible, so if I can write books, anybody can. And then I'm going to hit Control Enter again. Take me to a new page. Maybe next in line I would have a table of contents, and that will be a whole other video. But for today I'll just mark that this is where I'll have my table of contents page. If it only took up one page, then I would hit Control Enter again, new page. I would probably want a blank page on the other side of my table of contents, so I'm going to hit Control Enter again for a blank page. And maybe author intro, some sort of, whoops. And Control Enter. And if my author intro was only one page, then I would want a blank page on the other side of the author intro as well. So let me show you what this looks like. Let's go up to File, Page Preview. And we'll scroll up to the top so that we can see all the pages we've worked on so far. So this just gives you the layout. Now you're going to have to get used to thinking backwards when you go into page preview and look at it as though it's your formatted book. Because what you see here as the left-hand page, really, in your completed book, once you have it published through Amazon or any other self-publisher that allows you to format your own books, this is really going to be your right-hand side of your book. Because over here to the left would be the back side of your book cover, right? So there would be the white page, the blank other side of your book cover. And then this would actually be on the right. So if you just bear in mind, if you look down here, page 1 that we have highlighted here is the right side. So the odd numbers of the page numbers, those are your right sides, and you're going to want most things, I mean it's up to you, but most books would have a chapter that starts on the right page. You'd have your title page on the right, most of your divisions, you probably want to start your new page on the right side. So you want to start it on the odds. So I will just click through these. So there's our copyright page on the back side of our title page, which this would actually be the left-hand page. Table of contents with the blank page on the left-hand side. Author intro, if it was just one page, here we'd have a blank space on the other side of the author intro. And this page would be where I would be starting the body of my book. So I'm going to close up the preview. It's a little slow. So you see down at the bottom here, this is page 7. So because it's an odd number, this is actually going to be the right-hand side. So I know just by looking at the page number what side of the book I'm on. Okay, I'm actually going to backspace on this one. So here I'm on the blank page that's just on the other side of the author intro. And the reason I did that is because those were my basic pages, just nothing extra on them at the start of the book. But now I'm going to want page numbers and headers and footers and some different margins between my right and my left pages and the chapter opener page. And those will be things that I'll walk you through in different videos. For today, I'm just going to show you the basics of differentiating between the right page and the left page. So, like I've said, the right-hand side would be where I would start my chapters. So right now, I'm on page 6. That's the left-hand side. So I'm going to come up here to insert. And what I want is a manual break, because once I hit manual break, that tells the formatting that I'm moving into an entirely different section of the book. It just creates a separation between what I've done and what I'm about to do as far as the page differentiation and formatting and styles. So manual break, click on that, and it's on page break, which is what I want. But I need to choose a style. So if I scroll down, right at the bottom here, I've got right page, left page. Now this is the left-hand page, but I want to create the right-hand page right after this one. So I'm going to click on right page, and that will create the manual break and create my next style as the right page. Right page, okay. There we go. So you can see down here on the left, right page, that's the style of formatting that I'm starting now. And I am on an odd number, so that's exactly what I want. So here I would start my chapter opener, and I'll do that in a different video, but for now, chapter 1, it will be formatted as a right page. So under format, you can do anything that you want to do with the right page of your book. So let's go to page, and again click on the page tab. Now I'm going to want to keep the page size the same as the rest of the book, of course. So here's my margins, and typically with a professionally formatted book, you would find a different size margin on the right page versus the left page, because of course when the book is turned into a book and it has the center spine, you probably want a bit of a larger margin on the inside margin, which on the right page is actually going to be the left margin. So let's leave that one at 2, which is quite a wide margin. And to save ourselves on space and printing costs, let's make the right margin a little bit narrower. So let's say 1.5. And we'll leave the top and the bottom at 2. I could change those, but for now we'll leave those. I just wanted to show you what the difference in margins looks like. So okay, So you can see here on my right-hand page, here's my wider margin where the spine of the book would be and the words would get lost in if it was any smaller. And on this side, there's a slightly more narrow margin just for aesthetics, and also you can get more words in and save on printing costs. So the next thing we want to do is make sure that we have a left page coming after the right page. So back we go to Format. And didn't mean to do that. So under Format, again, we're going to Page. And now we want the organizer. So we can see that what we've got going on right now is the right page. That's the style and the format that we're working on. Next style will mean the page that follows the right page. So we're going to want left page. There we go, and we'll click OK. Now let's enter down and see what happens when we get to our next page, which now we know is going to be the left page. There we go. So this hasn't had its size changed yet. So let's go back to, but you can see down at the bottom, left page. This is the format for this page. Back to Format, back to Page. So we're on Organizer already. So after the left page, of course, we want it followed by the right page. So let's do that right now. So now the pages will alternate, right page, left page, etc. And we'll click OK. Format, Page, and Page. So it's adjusted the sizing automatically because now it's the left page is sandwiched in between the two right pages. So the program understood that we do want to keep the same page size. So it fixed that for us automatically. So let's adjust our margins here again. So of course, now we're working on the page style left page. So instead of the wider margin on the left-hand side, the wider margin is now going to be on our right-hand side because that's where the spine of the book will be. So we'll leave the wide margin, the 2 centimeters on the right, and let's change our left to 1.5 to keep it consistent with the right. Okay, there you go. You can see the different margin sizes there. And that is the basics of page differentiation. I'll get more in detail in the next video. But to recap, if you want to add a new style and create your own, everything's going to be under Format that you'll need. So you can go down to Styles and Formatting. And when you go over to Page Styles and click on Page Styles, here's the ones that it comes with automatically, plus any that you've added. And to go all the way over to New Style from Selection, and to choose New Style from Selection, you can enter your own name. And then like a common one that I would do is Chapter Opener, and then I would have a special different kind of formatting for the first page of my chapter. Right now we'll hit Cancel. Then after you've created the name for the style, so you can keep track of them, you're going to want to insert a manual break and the page break. And then you're going to choose whatever style you want to come after that break. And I'm just going to cancel out of that one. And then back to Styles and Formatting. Now, once you've created your manual break, you can click on whichever one of these, and if you've added a new one, that one would show up after you've saved it. Then the double click, so let's double click on left page because I do want this to stay as my left page. It's page 8. So we'll double click on left page, and that will create That will turn this page into the formatting that I double-clicked on under Styles and Formatting. And then once I'm on that page with the formatting, with the name of the format that I want to work on, I'm back to Format, and under Page, my organizer would tell the program what I want to follow. So after chapter opener, for instance, I would always follow with the left page because I start my chapters on the right page. And the page, you can do your sizing, you can do your margins. And those are the basics of page differentiation. So let's hit the save over here. And there we go. What I've worked on today will be ready for us next video. Thanks for watching. Like I say, I will leave the links in the description for my website. If you would like to just skip the work and pay somebody to format your book for you, you can check out my work. And also I'll have the link for my first video, which is walking you through the basics of the OpenOffice program. Thanks for watching. Bye now.